It's not here.
Yeah, well,
who knew?
You're close to the bubble, but you're much closer to golf courses, and I know it's sunny and warm there, so I expect you to turn in something in the 80s, get your handicap down. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the Bills are unbeaten, the Heat are on the board, and the Yankees and Rays are ready to rumble. But we begin today with a stunning offensive performance by the Cleveland Browns in Dallas. They scored 49 points, including a total wow factor end around by Odell Beckham Jr. that covered 50 yards and broke the Cowboys' backs deep in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott passed for 4 touchdowns and 502 yards and still could not win. Wilbon, should the Cowboys feel embarrassed, or could Cleveland actually be good?
We're going to start there instead of should Dak get his money? Is that where we're going to start? Tony, Cleveland did some things that was stunning. That end around to Odell after the Cowboys get within 3 and you think, oh, my God, they're going to pull off one of these comebacks. And Odell has that end-around play that goes for a touchdown where you should have been trapped like 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And Jarvis Landry throwing that pass, that rocket on his left arm. Those were stunning plays for Cleveland, and Cleveland appears to be much better than last year. But I don't care about that today. The Cowboys stink. The Cowboys are a stupid onside Atlanta recovery of an onside kick from being 0-4, Tony. So, I mean, I'm sorry. The Cowboys, everybody talks about the Cowboys, how good they are, how good they're going to be, how good Dak is, where they're going to place their place in history. Their place right now in an awful division, the worst in football, is a stink. That is the primary story and the big headline from yesterday in that game to me.
So I'm going to echo much of what you said. I'm not going to get too carried away with the Browns at the moment, because although they are 3-1, they've beaten Cincinnati, Washington, and Dallas, whose combined record is 3-8-1. So we're going to wait on the Browns a little bit, although they were really good. I want to talk about Dallas as well. I want to find out who was coordinating their defense. I don't understand this thing even a little. I mean, they have scored 126 points in 4 games. That's an average of 32 points a game, and they can't win with that because they should be 0-4. They're allowing 146 points, Mike. That's worse than the whole league. That's 37 points a game. Are you kidding me? Don't blame Dak Prescott, because he can't do anything about that.
No, Tony, and you know what's interesting to me? I thought about this because Mike McCarthy, it seemed to me, was, maybe getting slammed a little bit too much in the offseason and after he left Green Bay. And maybe, that people should not get carried away. No, now I'm feeling like they are. What was Mike McCarthy doing with Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers ought to sue somebody. How frustrated he must be. Because Mike McCarthy makes some crazy decisions. One, why do you squib kick and give the Browns a ball at midfield after you get within 3 and you got plenty of time left? So, Tony, Mike McCarthy right now just looks like a dude, and it looks like he was the guy primarily in charge of wasting Aaron Rodgers' time all those years in Green Bay.
Let me get back to the NFC East, which at the moment is a mine shaft. You go down and you can't get up. The leaders right now are Philadelphia, because they beat the 49ers when Nick Mullins proved he's not an NFL quarterback. They're 1-2-1. They're ahead in the division. But one of the games they've already lost is to Washington, which is a terrible team. The combined record in that division, Mike, is 3-12-1, and it's going to get worse because the crossover is with the NFC West, which is good, and they go AFC North, which is good.
This must pain
the winner's
you.
going to be 6-10.
That's your I-95 team. That must pain you greatly.
While the Cowboys, I'm staying with football. While the Cowboys can't live up to the hype, and I'm going east and northeast, the Buffalo Bills appear to be surpassing it. The Bills are now 4-0 after beating the Raiders in Las Vegas. Josh Allen has completed 71% of his passes this season and is on pace for more than 5,000 passing yards and 50 touchdowns passing and running. Wilbon, has Allen convinced you that he's as good as he looks at the quarter pole?
Tony, I need more than 4. But he's on the way to convincing me. How about that? Look, he's not going to convince me that if I was voting for MVP today, I would vote for him ahead of Russell Wilson, because I wouldn't. I mean, we got a chance, another viewing of Aaron Rodgers tonight. He might be behind Aaron Rodgers. But, Tony, he's in the discussion of the 4 or 5 people that are playing great, and particularly at that position. Josh Allen's in the discussion. I mean, he's a big, strong guy. I mean, he gets banged around a lot. You always talk about Cam Newton and Ben Roethlisberger. Yes. Josh Allen, not as big as those guys, but he's a target. He takes it. He comes back. He leads his team. The 12 touchdowns and 1 interception are great, but he leads his team. I like Buffalo.
Yeah, thank you. I will point out that before the season started, you were one of those people who said, don't give me Buffalo. I'm staying with New England and Belichick
New England, yes,
because this is all media hype. Well, it's not hype right now. I remember when Josh Allen was in Wyoming and people talked about him being the overall #1. They didn't talk about Baker Mayfield and they didn't talk about Sam Darnold. Those guys went ahead of him. Here are the stats that matter. In the first 4 games of last year, he completed 60% of his passes, had 3 touchdowns and 6 picks. In the first 4 this year, 70.9% of his passes, and as you said, 12-1 right now. Who's better than him right now? Maybe Russell Wilson, maybe Aaron Rodgers, maybe Patrick Mahomes. But as you say, he's in the discussion at the moment. He's in the discussion. Now, I just have to hold off because they've beaten the Jets, the Dolphins, the Rams, and the Raiders. That's one good team. And here's who they got coming up, Mike, because we're going to know. They got the Seahawks, the Titans, the Steelers, the 49ers, the Chiefs, and the Patriots twice. That's a hard schedule. That's a hard schedule. So if Buffalo in upstate New York is legitimate, we're going to know it at the end of the season, right? We're going to know.
By the way, the Raiders win is not a bad win. Why aren't the Raiders 2-2 now? I mean, it's not the worst schedule, but I hear what you're saying.
It's fine,
in terms of strength of schedule, it's all in front of them. It's all in front of them.
That's right. That's right. We move now to the Heat, surprisingly beating the Lakers last night, even without Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo. Jimmy Butler, your boy, led the way with 40 points, 11 rebounds, and 13 assists. He was 14 for 20 from the field. He was the best player out there. You couldn't find Anthony Davis, and LeBron had 8 turnovers. After the game, LeBron said, quote, "We are not concerned," unquote. Wilbon, should they be?
Well, for some context, I mean, LeBron was very gracious after he and Jimmy Butler got into a little back and forth. I'm okay with that, them beefing like that. That's what you're supposed to do. LeBron was very gracious in his full post-game remarks talking about what Jimmy Butler did. And LeBron was quick to say, I'll take this. I can't turn the ball over. I'm effectively the point guard, and I can't commit those kinds of turnovers because this team will make you pay. And he knows the culture of the Miami Heat and how tough they are mentally and physically because he was once part of it. So he gets that. He stated it, and then he said, to put it in full context, no, we're not concerned. They're still in control of the series, Tony. They are. The Lakers are at 2-1. And it depends to me whether or not they're going to remain in control will depend largely, not entirely, largely, on whether or not Bam Adebayo can come and give them big minutes and contribution. He doesn't have to have a great game tomorrow night in Game 4, but he has to give them a big contribution. Minutes, effort, inspiration, help to be Jimmy Butler's tag team partner. But just real quickly, Jimmy Butler, that's one of the great performances in finals history. That's why Jimmy Butler's my favorite player in the league, Tony, because with no pedigree coming into this league, he didn't have the king. He wasn't on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He had none of that. But his record against LeBron is 18-19, regular and postseason, and he's there to play, and he manned up last night.
So I don't know how this works because there's no home court advantage. So I don't know if that, in effect, when you think a series is lopsided, it evens it out. I'm not certain of that. I am pretty sure of this, that I thought the Lakers would win last night. I thought they'd go up 3-0, and I was wrong about that. I thought they would put away the series. I couldn't find Anthony Davis at all. To talk specifically to LeBron, because you know that I think that the Lakers have the 2 best players, but that Miami has a better team and a better system. I don't think they're going to win this because I think now LeBron realizes specifically this is on his shoulders. He's got to make sure Anthony Davis bounces back, and he's got, as you say in Jimmy Butler, a tough guy who will guard him every place he has to be guarded. This now, to me, Mike, becomes LeBron's series to win, him specifically.
Tony, so, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Look, Tony, what do the Lakers do so far when they've lost a playoff game? They come back with a vengeance. They come back with purpose.
Come back and win.
They come back and LeBron, they understand who's going to lead them. LeBron's going to lead them. LeBron's going to be great tomorrow night. Anthony Davis is going to be much better tomorrow night. That's why tomorrow night depends to me on Jimmy Butler. And, I mean, nobody has two of those in a series since Wilt. But how great is Jimmy Butler going to be? And I believe he will be damn good at the very least. And Bam, what can they get out of Bam if he's out there? Will he look like himself? I'm intrigued by Game 4, Tone. Look, the Lakers, they are still in control of the series. But I think it's worth serenading what Jimmy Butler did last night because it was amazing.
Well, you didn't just serenade him. You had the full orchestra. Let's take a break.
Good.
Coming up with Cam Newton out and the team flying in today, should we rule out a Patriots win over the Chiefs tonight?
Presented by Samuel Adams, part of Happy Hour.
As usual, the email box is jammed with fan mail for me, but I did manage to find a couple of worthy issues. Let me get the first one here. Here we go.
Mail time!
Come on, close up. I just heard about this. Did Bill O'Brien deserve to be fired?
Well, because relatively speaking, it just happened, Tony. Look, they're 0-4. Now, they had Murderers Row to start the season, and then they lost to the Vikings, which is, you could make the case as sort of unforgivable right now. But, Tony, I find it fascinating that after yesterday's loss, J.J. Watt, who was like Mr. Texan, he came out basically and said, we got to make a change. We got to change some stuff up now. Whatever changes we have to make, let's do it now. Boom. The owner hears that voice. There's no voice in that franchise more important than J.J. Watt. But Bill O'Brien should never have had as much control as coach and GM as he had. Trading DeAndre Hopkins is about the dumbest move in the last 5 years in the NFL in terms of personnel. So, yeah, in short, sure.
So I have nothing to add to what you have said because I concur with what you have said. Romeo Crennel, who I remember coaching the Browns, is there at least as an interim. But I will say this. This has been a playoff team before, regularly a playoff team. If you have Deshaun Watson at quarterback and you have J.J. Watt anchoring the defense, you just can't be 0-4. And I know it was hard. I know those first 3 games, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Steelers, are hard. But I thought Dan Quinn would go by now. I thought Adam Gase would go by now. I didn't think O'Brien would go because I thought the owner loved him. But you got to be better than 0-4 with those people making that kind of money.
Houston has expectations now. Those other two, with Quinn and Gase, their expectations ain't nearly as high.
With Cam Newton sidelined, do you rule the Patriots out for a win tonight?
No. And whoever is fine for us to answer this as an email today. But if anybody thinks that they want to rule out the Patriots, that would make them el stupido, okay? Because you don't rule out a team coached by Bill Belichick ever. I don't care who the people are. This is a situation where I know it's, the NBA is a players' league. The NFL, not as much a players' league, even though you need great players. I'm not ruling Bill Belichick out. And while the other team might be favored, Kansas City, I know you are not ruling Belichick out either.
Well, I would just call me El Stupido at the moment because I'm looking at the fact that the game plan was going to be Cam Newton running, Cam Newton making first downs on third down to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. These other guys, Hoyer is 0-10 as a starter in his last 10 starts, and Stidham, I don't think that he can even do it. I don't think they can run. I think they are passing quarterbacks. This game is a 7-point game 2 days ago. Before the Cam Newton news, I assume it's a 14-point game now. So, Mike, I honestly do think as great as Bill Belichick is, unless Jimmy Butler is suiting up, I don't think they have a chance tonight.
A chance?
I don't. That's me personally.
Give me the points. I'll take them, and I'll bet you. Let's bet a round of golf, wherever you want to bet it. Huh? Pebble Beach, loser pays.
Okay.
Are we on for that?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Let's do that.
You get 7, not 14. You get 7.
How about split the difference?
With the Chargers and the Bucks, which 7, hotshot, which quarterback impressed you more, Tom Brady or Justin Herbert?
I like Justin Herbert. I like him. He's got some spunk. First of all, he's got some talent. And he seems to be able to make the throws you need to make. He can make enough plays with his feet. He seems, confident and aware and has some poise. But, I mean, come on. I mean, didn't TB12 go 6-1 yesterday? No, the answer is Tom Brady. And this terrifies me because I think they come marching into Chicago next week where he will just crush the Bears. But no, I like Herbert, Tony, but he's not TB12 yet, and that you better agree with.
No, and he's never going to be TB12. So he looked very, very good. The reason he's playing is because nobody's filed for malpractice yet against the team doctor for injecting the other quarterback. Yeah. You know, look, here's what Tom Brady did. He threw another pick six, so he actually had 6 touchdowns yesterday. 5 to his team and 1 to the other team. The reason the answer is Tom Brady is they were down 24-7. 4 straight touchdown drives, 4 straight to go up 35-31, in which Brady is 13-16, 211 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Which quarterback is more impressive? One of them's 43. Okay, he's 43 years old. He's the one that's more impressive. And I just wonder if Bruce Arians thinks he's got enough grit yet, enough email. Let's take one last break. Still to come. Will the Falcons blow another big lead tonight? I don't know. When they face the Packers. And has Oklahoma seen the last of the top 25 this season? Yeah.